Hello and welcome to Marvel Vision, a Marvel Studios TV show podcast brought to you by Cinema Sangha. My name is Devin Faraci. I am one of the hosts of the program. Joining me as he traditionally does.
My name is Derek Faraci, and well done, Murphy. I'm going to get you into some weird school. How are you, Devin?
Are you bald?
I'm balding, yeah. I got hair.
No, you're bald right now. You have no hair on your head.
I do. I have some hair. You can see it.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I mean, I shaved my head.
You've never shown us your dome on the program before.
Nope. All new, all different.
Why today? Why are we doing the dome today?
I didn't feel like wearing a hat.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. He says, I say as I'm wearing a hat. But that's just
You've
because...
gone hatless before.
I go hatless plenty of times. I just don't feel like dealing with my hair today. I didn't feel like combing.
Your locks.
No, I just got a haircut the other day. And actually, it's pretty short. And it's just like I have to actually like comb it and like put a little product in it. So, I mean, but like, you know, it's here. There's hair, you know, but I just didn't feel like dealing with it. So today's the hat. Today's the hat. Also, I got this new ring light. And I'm trying to see if the hat keeps some of the ring reflection out of my glasses. And not really. Look at that reflection.
Look at that.
Yeah, I can't figure this out. I can't figure out how to use these ring lights. I have two of them. One I got for free off of Facebook, and one I bought for $15, if I want to say. Yeah, you can't complain about that. But I'm trying to figure out how to use them without putting circles in my glasses like this. It's pretty crazy.
You get non-reflective lenses.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. That's expensive. Is it really worth it for this garbage? I don't know that it is worth it for this garbage. Anyway,
Why do
how
you
are
have
you doing?
two ring lights?
Well, because one I purchased. Actually, no, I didn't purchase either of these. I just lied to you right now. I was going to purchase one for $15. I didn't purchase it. One Brittany had, and it's been sitting around. And that one's a short one. And then somebody on Facebook, I belong to a group that's a buy nothing group, and it's like, we're going to get rid of this. Does anybody want it? And there was a ring light. And I said, sure, I'll take it. And they were really close to my house. And so that one has like a telescoping stand. So that's taller. Okay. So they're for different purposes, kind of. You know what I mean? Like the one I'm using right now is the short one. It doesn't have any kind of telescoping thing. It just sits quite low to the ground. And the other one's better if I'm standing up or whatever. The one that I'm using right now has a little holder for a cell phone, though. So you can put your cell phone in the middle of the ring light and be filming yourself without getting a shadow on yourself.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's one that Brittany had, and I just never used it. And now I am.
All right, there you go.
Because I've been making the videos, you know. So I'm like, let me try to make these look better. And one piece of advice I got from a friend who does these videos was like, you got to get better lighting.
Okay.
So yeah, I was like, okay, great.
Next, you gotta get a green screen.
On TikTok, you can just do that. It'll just cut you out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think for like other things, it's more complicated. But if you're using TikTok app, it'll just I think you can just do that. I'm not sure. People do it in their cars and stuff on TikTok.
That's true. Yeah.
I had a exciting pizza experience yesterday.
Oh yeah, what happened?
So I ordered a pizza from one of my local places, Hail Mary Pizza. Quite good, very good. They make a sourdough pizza. All their crust is sourdough. It's like really excellent. And I ordered sort of a regular pie with garlic on it. And when I went there to pick it up, they were like, hey, listen, it's going to be a little bit longer because the guy, it's his first day, and he misunderstood what garlic was. And he put capers on it instead. And so...
It's very different.
So when my pizza was done, the owner was like, do you just want this other one with the capers on it? Do you know anybody that, like, we're going to throw it away. So, like, I said, sure, let me take it home. Why not? And so I got home, and I tried the capers pizza. You know, I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I liked it.
There you go.
So maybe I got myself a new topping. I'm not really adventurous with toppings. Because then your whole pizza's ruined. Like if you get a pizza and you get a topping you don't like, you're trying out a new topping, like you're fucked, right? That's just it's bad.
And then there are certain toppings that are good fresh on the pizza when it's hot, but if you're you're having it cold the next day, they don't taste as good. Like I love mushrooms, but I don't like mushrooms on pizza because cold mushrooms on a cold pizza it doesn't work for me.
I had a little bit of the cold pizza this morning, and the capers on the cold pizza it wasn't bad, but it wasn't as exciting as the hot capers on the hot pizza. It's got like a very salty, bitter taste. It's like pickled. So it's like really interesting. It really cuts against the sweetness of the sauce in a really interesting way that I quite liked. And I had never even considered getting capers. In fact,
I don't know if I've ever had capers.
I'm going to tell everybody the truth. I didn't even know what capers were. I had to look them up when I got home.
They're like a fish, right?
Nope.
They're not? I thought
It's the bud of a flower that grows in the Mediterranean.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I always thought they were some kind of fish.
No, they're little tiny green balls. Yeah, so I quite enjoyed it, though. So maybe I'll get some capers on my pizza next time. I don't know.
Look at you. Fancy.
I know. I'm such a fancy lad. How you doing over there?
I'm good. I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm hanging out. I saw one battle after another this morning.
What did you think?
It's good. It's good. I definitely disagree with people who say that it moves faster than its length. I don't think that's true.
Oh my God, that's what I say. I felt that movie flew.
I feel like the middle gets a little sluggy.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw it on Thursday, one of 3 VistaVision prints that exist. It melted.
Perfect.
And it melted. This is not a spoiler, but it melted during the scene where they're interrogating Coyote.
Okay.
And the way that it works is that when the film melts, when it gets too hot, what'll happen is that the film begins flashing and then it melts. And so he's being interrogated by the military, and it started flashing, and I said, oh, they're using enhanced techniques. They're trying to freak him out with these flashing lights. And then the film melted. But I'll say that when that happened, I looked at my phone. I was like, wait, oh my God, this movie just started. And it was 50 minutes in, 50. So okay. I was like, wow, this movie's fucking zooming by. But I love it. I wrote a review on the Patreon. If people want to go read my review, it's mostly spoiler free. I may write more about it with spoilers later on in the week. We'll see what happens. I kind of want to write a review comparing it to Rogue One.
Okay.
Which is that they're both movies about sort of like the people who make up a rebellion.
Yeah.
And that like it's not necessarily always about the big heroic people. That it's about, like the most heroic characters in this movie, again, no spoilers, there's a couple of nurses.
Yeah.
Who like do like out of their way to like help somebody in a way that is like, wow, that's a pretty good deal, So I kind of am thinking about writing that. So, but we'll see. We'll see if I get around to it.
Let me ask you this.
What?
The movie has almost universal praise.
Yeah.
But a couple of critics are like, no, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
You're a critic. Has that happened to you where like everyone loves a movie and you're like, no?
Not as significant as this. This movie has a 98% fresh at Rotten Tomatoes, which is an overwhelming critical consensus. I have never been in the minority that badly. I have been in a minority, but I've not been in the minority that badly. I have unkind thoughts sometimes about people who are in that 2%, which is that sometimes I feel like it's a way to get attention. And I feel like sometimes maybe they're not that smart. I mean, like it's like and I don't even know who gave this movie. But I'm actually looking it up right now because I am curious who gave this movie a negative review. Not just it was like, oh yeah, it's fine or not for whatever, but actually gave it a negative review.
Yeah. Because with something like this, I wonder. Like I look at them, like, do those critics see everyone else loving it and think to themselves, did I miss something? Maybe I was not in the right headspace.
So I definitely have had that when a lot of my friends really like a movie and I am not clicking with it. I will say, okay, I might have really missed something here.
Yeah.
That's very possible. I mean, like a guy from the Film Yap gave it a negative review. Odie Henderson at the Boston Globe, who is fine as a critic. He's not like insanely whatever. He gave it a negative review. Nick Johnson at Vanyaland gave it a negative review. Yasser Medina at Cinephilia.
I don't know if we need to call these people out.
I mean, it's right here on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm just reading the Rotten Tomatoes. Carlos Boyero from El País, from Spain. I mean, so a lot of Keith Garlington from Keith and the Movies.
What does it take to be a Rotten Tomatoes?
Not much anymore. They really lowered. They really significantly lowered the bar to get in, and I think have fundamentally destroyed the site. The site is garbage now because they truly just took away any idea that you had to be for real on any level to do this. So I mean that Kurt Loder didn't like it. He's 80 years old. What does he know?
Went against his libertarian beliefs.
Well, that's the thing. So this guy, Keith Garlington, his quote here is, the film is 160 minutes of unfocused energy fueled by plot gimmicks, careless romanticizations, and pulpit pounding that takes lazy pot shots at real-world issues rather than actually examining them, which makes me feel like this guy is not happy with the immigration stuff that the movie has.
Yeah.
I mean, because I feel like it's not lazy pot shots. I feel like it's fundamentally a big piece of the movie.
Very much so.
So, yeah. Anyway, so yes, I would sometimes see movies that people loved that I did not like, and I would feel like was I the one that was wrong? A lot of times in those situations, though, a bunch of years would go by and people would begin reevaluating the movie, and all of a sudden everybody would be coming to my side. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like, victory.
Exactly. Fuck you guys. Where were you?
I told you all.
Where were you when I stood alone? There were no sets of footprints on the beach. It was just me. Anyway, we got any news this week?
We do. Fortnite has removed the Peacemaker dance after the recent episode of Peacemaker, when they came to realize that
he's making a swastika.
Yeah.
This is my favorite news story of the week. I think this is amazing. I can only imagine how James Gunn was laughing when he got notified that they had, because they probably already had the deal. I'm sure it already, this shit exists outside of his purview. They had a deal for the first season, I feel like. Did they do the dance?
I don't even remember if Peacemaker was put in during the first season. I have no idea.
But I just think it's so fucking hilarious that they're like, all right, put the dance in, feel free. It's just brilliantly beautiful. I cannot be happier about this whole turn of events. This is great. This is so great.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, nobody's getting hurt in the end. They're going to refund everybody who bought the dance move. They said we're checking with our collaborators to see what their creative intention was with the dance.
Somebody's checking all the one battle after another dances now too.
I can't believe they made one. I mean, I actually love that too, frankly, that they made one battle after another fucking Fortnite characters. That's so crazy. That's so funny. That's so crazy. I mean, these people are legitimate revolutionaries. These are not rebels in Star Wars. These are legitimate revolutionaries. So yeah, it's basically they basically put the Weathermen in Fortnite. Is what they did. It's just so brilliant. It's just so brilliant.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty amazing.
And I know Paul Thomas Anderson must have thought that was fucking hilarious. I'm sure he was like, yes, definitely do that.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine he had to sign off on it. I imagine DiCaprio had to sign off on it, right? So
yeah, I would guess.
DiCaprio breaking all his rules now.
I saw a really good clip of an interview that DiCaprio and Benicio del Toro did on the Travis and Jason Kelce podcast.
Okay.
Where DiCaprio says that when he was a little kid, first starting out, he got an agent, and the agent told him that his name was too ethnic, and that they had to change his name because nobody was going to hire a Leonardo DiCaprio. And he said, "We got a new name for you. Your new name is Lenny Williams, and it's Lenny for Leonardo, and his middle name is William." And so they're like, "We just took your middle name, made it less time. So now you're Lenny Williams from now on." And Leo's dad was like, "No," and he fired the agent. The same thing happened to Benicio del Toro, When he first started working, they're like, no, you can't have that name. So what they wanted to give him was Benny Dell.
Benny Dell. I was going to say Benny Toro.
You think Benny Toro would be better?
Yeah.
But like, no, they said Benny Dell. So you had, That's incredible. That's incredible. Leo Williams and Benny Dell, or Larry Williams and Benny Dell. Yeah, I mean, it's like fucking amazing. Like, it's so funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think DiCaprio would have been as famous with that name.
No. Right? No, Lenny Williams? No, Lenny was a horrible fucking name. Lenny's a horrible name. Yeah. Sorry to all Leonards out there. Yeah, it's a horrible fucking name.
Yeah.
The romance of Leonardo DiCaprio is like a big selling point. You know what I mean? So like that's definitely back in the day of his teen heartthrob days. That was a big selling point.
Yeah, and as we all know, Tobey Maguire's agents had to talk him out of going by Tugboat Maguire.
Always a tragedy because that should have been what he called himself, Tugboat.
From day one.
Oh, I think that my broom is in the shot.
Yep.
I think this is going to actually make it onto the show. My broom in the background. I didn't do a good job. I was spending so much time setting up this new lighting rig that I did not do a good job. My door is open too, which it never is. So a little bit of behind the scenes stuff.
You should have been quiet and been like, find the 10 differences in this episode.
All right, what else we got?
What do we got? James Gunn has also teased that there likely will not be a Peacemaker Season 3, but the characters will continue in another series. Some of these characters will continue, but also it's not exactly Peacemaker 3. I'm not ruling it out. You'll see Episode 8, and maybe you'll find out a little bit more. He also said about the Authority that it's not canned, but they're having trouble with it. And there's someone who's a really good creator who talked to me the other day about it. So he's got that going on.
Did you see Grant Morrison's recommendations for the Superman movie?
Yes.
What'd you think of those?
Some of them I can see where he's coming from. Some of them I think it's a misunderstanding of the movie.
I had that same feeling. I'm trying to find what he said. Because some of it I thought was really interesting. But like he had one was like Superman should have given the kaiju CPR.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, the kaiju's insides were kind of destroyed.
Blown up. Yeah.
And I guess that then the argument there is that you just change that whole sequence in general.
Yeah. He said that Superman should have been able to help save Metropolis and show up when the kid's holding the flag.
Yeah, I think also, which is misunderstands the movie.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of that is Superman is inspiring other people to do good. That's one of his superpowers, basically, at the end of the day. Yeah.
Morrison has the God vision of Superman, where if Superman does everything perfectly and nothing can go wrong for him. And that's not what this movie was. You know? So it's a little different.
He says this one does come closest to capturing the spirit of the comics out of all the Superman movies, because he kind of like critiques the other Supermans, including Henry Cavill, which he says is a bad Superman because of Snyder.
Yeah.
He says the distant God, he says, is interesting, but like the way that it was done is just flat. And he says it's not like All-Star Superman at all, which I think is 100% correct. He says, they said that because All-Star is very well known and people love it, and because it's a more upbeat story. So I think that they, he also doesn't like Crypto helping as much. I didn't love that. And the kaiju one is the one I was like, huh. And then as you said, his idea that Superman's as a god here is that he said this should have been a movie about Superman realizing how strong he is, and I'm like, that's just not the. That's not the story. That's not the story. It's the story is how he inspires other people. That's just not. It's just not that take, So yeah. But anyway,
I don't know. That's his stance.
I mean, it's not like
I'm not going to argue with him. He's Grant Morrison.
He seems to have liked it, more or less. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he said this is the best Superman movie, right? So
yeah.
I don't know how much he likes the other ones. Is the thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to like them very much.
No. Anyway, I predicted that Gunn would make the best Superman film, and I think he did. Yeah, I mean, like,
there you go.
Yeah.
C+.
Did you know that One Battle After Another got an A cinema score?
I did not. Wow.
That's crazy, right?
That is wild.
Yeah.
That is, I would not have expected that.
No, I assumed it was going to get maybe a B minus. But no, it got an A.
Watching the movie, I was like, oh, this movie, the trailer sold a very different movie. So I would have thought much lower.
I mean, I think the movie's very funny and it's got a lot of action in it, so I think people are satisfied.
I don't think it's as funny as the trailers make it look.
I will agree that it is sporadically funny. When it's funny, it's very funny.
When it's funny, it's very funny.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But it's darker than I think the trailers suggest.
Yes, I would agree with that. All right, what's next?
Marvin Jones III has been tapped to play Tombstone in Spider-Man Brand New Day. If you've ever seen him, it was probably the easiest casting anyone has ever done.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's Tombstone. That guy he's a black guy who's an albino, which is what Tombstone is. Like,
and he's big. He's a big
guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I'm curious how much he's going to be in the movie. There was a rumor we talked about last week that the movie was going to open with a series of Spider-Man defeating kind of classic villains and his suit changing to create the passage of time and stuff like that. I mean, so I'm kind of curious how that goes.
Yeah. Do you think there'll be a moment, if that is the opening, where the entire city goes black and then comes out of it and Spider-Man's like, that was weird? And that's the connection to Thunderbolts?
Or there's gonna be like a sequence in there where he's like, "Boy, why is the whole city a fascist state now? Oh no, now it's fixed. Okay,
no, it's okay. Yeah, where he finds like in a bird's nest like a little truck with two little skeletons in it. He's like, where'd this come from? That'd be fun. That would be fun.
Anyway, I'm pro this casting, if only just from a purely visual standpoint. They got Tombstone. Yeah.
They figured him out very well.
Yeah.
And then finally, Fantastic Four is now available on VOD. So if you haven't seen it, you can rent it, and then you can listen to our Watchmen episode about it.
Yeah, you sure can. You can do that 100%. And I think it's enjoyable. I think it's an enjoyable film, and I enjoyed it.
Yes, I would agree.
That's what I have to say.
I would agree.
There is one thing I did want to mention that you don't have in your news list.
What's that?
Brad Winderbaum, one of the big guys at Marvel, said that Marvel Zombies began life as a movie.
Yes.
And they had to cut it into 4 chapters because of the nature of their rights to Spider-Man. He can only appear in a TV show for them. And so they had to take a movie and cut it into 4 parts, which might be actually why this is one of the better. I mean, I haven't watched it yet, but you felt that it was pretty good or not horrible.
Yes,
and I
it's
wonder
better than What If, for sure.
I wonder if they sat down and wrote a cohesive thing, and then that actually worked in their favor.
I mean, they changed it from movie to show before they started really making it, right? Like, it wasn't like they were like, they made it and then like, oh.
No, but I'm saying, like, I don't know how early in the scripting process that was.
I don't know.
Or in the pitching process, even, because you pitch a TV show differently than you pitch a movie in terms of story beats. You know what I mean? So I just think it's interesting. I think it's kind of funny that they were like, "Fuck, let's see if we can get this done as a Disney Plus movie," and Sony was like, "Nah, not gonna happen. No way, not gonna happen." Yeah. So they're giving them no quarter at all.
So that means that Spider-Man could show up on Daredevil if they wanted.
Yes,
but they probably couldn't use Tom Holland.
I think probably could use Tom Holland, I think.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not. I don't know. But I do feel like they could.
Okay.
So,
I don't know how that works.
Nobody's sure.
Need a different contract?
I mean, probably have to sign a different deal to do the TV thing.
Yeah.
But I think it might be one of those things they just don't want to get into these fucking negotiations with Sony.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's, I think, the deal. Like, they know that they came really close to losing him. Like, Sony really was, like, pretty interested in fucking their shit up badly.
Yeah.
And, like, ruining their most popular franchise, like, for no good reason. So
we got all these other ones in the works now.
So, yeah. I mean, obviously, post-expanded Spideyverse, I wonder if Sony is a little bit more reasonable. Like, oh yeah, we can't make these things. Actually, it turns out we have no idea what we're doing. So I don't know.
Spider-Man is always there to show Sony their hubris. So, that's how that works out.
Oh boy. All right, we got letters this week?
We do. Glenn asks, hey guys, love all your shows. Thanks, Glenn. Would you ever consider going back to recaps of X-Men, the animated series, in between new shows? I know it's not a great show, but I grew up with it and enjoyed hearing you talk about the episodes.
I will say that I would love to, because I have like an easier time watching this stuff than Derek does. Derek seems to have like a very significant like physical reaction to watching these things sometimes. And I'm like, oh, well, that was pretty bad. But you know what? It's funny. But also because as the series goes on, they continue to adapt big storylines. And I kind of just want to see them do Dark Phoenix. Like, I'm like kind of really want to see it. Like, I want to see what the cartoon show did for Dark Phoenix. Yeah. And so I like, that's the thing. Like, as they continue to do these storylines, I'm more interested in seeing what's up, you know, like how they're handling it. And also I think X-Men 97 gave me a greater fondness for this take on the characters that I did not have when we began doing our X-Men recaps. Okay. But X-Men 97, I really liked it so much that it retroactively made these versions of the characters more enjoyable for me. So
see, my thought process on that is that X-Men 97 kind of just ignored what they were doing in the show character-wise and wrote them differently.
I mean, I don't know. We haven't watched the whole series, so we don't know where they ended up. Like, they may have ended up in very different places. That's the thing, is that when you look at the Wikipedia for X-Men, the animated series, they end up with a lot of big, like long storylines, and that are adapting big comic stories. And so, like, I don't know what they're doing later on in that particular thing, you know? So I guess, you know, but you know, I wouldn't mind it. I'm not against it. I think that if we did it, one, Derek would have to agree, and Derek is a pretty staunch no vote currently on that. And also I would want to do an extended run of it. I wouldn't want to just do like, here's a couple episodes, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I would kind of like to actually have the space to do a more extended run talking about the show. Yeah. So we could get into the vibe of it, you know what I mean?
Which I feel like after Wonder Man, we're probably going to need an extended run of something. Because I don't think there's anything for a little while after that.
Do you know what I really want to watch? What? And I don't know where we can even find it. Is the X-Men show The Gifted that they did on Fox in the 90s?
Where Wolverine's Australian?
Yeah. No. That's the animated one. The live action one.
The live action one. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if where that's available. I'm not sure it's available anywhere legally. But like the live action X-Men show, that was very bad. And but I would kind of love to take a look at it like now on the other side. Like, it was so bad that it aired at a time when there weren't a ton of superhero things out there, and I still quit it. Yeah. Like, a lot of superhero shit I sat through just because there was superheroes in it, but this show I was like, fuck this. So I'm kind of super curious.
What about the Generation X TV movie? Remember that?
I mean, I think that's a thing that we could do too. I mean, there's like an argument to be made that we could do a month of Watchmen where the poll is TV movies.
That's true.
Because we got the Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV movie.
Nick Fury. I think we still have one more Hulk.
We got one more Hulk movie, I think.
Right? Because we didn't do Death of the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, we didn't do Death of the Incredible Hulk, yeah. So we only did the first two Incredible Hulk TV movies. And there's probably like one or two others that I'm not even... I mean, depending on how you define some of this stuff, there might be one or two others I'm not even thinking about. And I'm also really interested in doing potentially a month on Watchmen where the poll is like under-released or like barely released, like Dr. Mordred, which is the Doctor Strange ripoff. There's a Doctor Strange TV movie, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to get. It is not easy to get. I believe it is not legally available. Okay. I'm going to let you know, it's not good.
Shocker. Breaking news.
Oh, here, you got to use this face for the thumbnail. See, you got to watch this show. We're making the dumbest fucking faces, but you're listening to this and you don't get it.
You don't get it. You're missing out. Get on the YouTubes.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about like those concepts because we really had a great time with the live action Super Friends.
Yes.
Roast of the Superheroes and Contest of the Superheroes, whatever it was. And those are great to watch.
Yeah.
Although those are better than many of these other pieces of shits. Frankly.
We also had fun with the Hulks.
The Hulks were fun too. I thought we had a nice time with the Hulks, yeah.
They were a nice callback.
It was kind of funny that the Daredevil in the Hulk movie was maybe better than the Netflix Daredevil show.
Yes, but they both wore the same costume for most.
They wore the exact same costume, yes.
Yeah. Which is impressive. I don't think what other superhero TV movies there are.
There's got to be one or two.
Nightman was Nightman just a series?
I think Nightman might have been just a series.
Okay.
I wonder. I'm trying to remember. Like, did any of the early ones start with a TV movie like Manimal? Like, was there a Manimal TV movie that did that? But I don't know.
I mean, the Flash premiere is movie length.
But it's just 2 episodes, though, right? Like, or is it? See, its definitions become weird. You know what I mean?
Like, I don't know if like I'm talking about the '90s Flash, not the.
No, yeah, I know, yeah.
I don't remember if that's 2 episodes. How that works?
Yeah, definitions become weird. So that's always hard to be 100. Like Battlestar Galactica, the '70s one, they turned that first couple episodes into a movie to release overseas. So like, is that a movie? I don't know. It's a 2-hour story. You know, it's, you know, so anyway, we're not going to do Battlestar.
Was Superfoes released theatrically?
I mean, yes.
Okay, well, that wouldn't count then.
Yeah, that's a theatrical picture. Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. What else we got?
More questions.
I mean, I guess we answered that, right?
Yeah. Maybe we'll go back to it. Dapion coming back
again. Dapion, what's your story, Dapion? For those that don't listen to the Bad Batch, Dapion is what I used to call Charlie Brown when I was a little kid. And it's just very weird that this person is sending questions.
What if this is some mutated version of Charlie Brown that you created? It's like a tulpa.
He's my tulpa, my Charlie Brown tulpa.
And his third question is going to be like, why did you leave me?
He's got a giant head and he's got like a little swiveled up body. And he's like, he's like really angry at being created.
He's like some drawing you did of Charlie Brown when you were 3. Please. Dapion says, is there a take on a comic book character that you prefer over the general depiction? As an example, I don't really care for the Joker in most appearances, but the radical socialist stepdad Joker that was on the Harley Quinn cartoon really made me laugh, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So I guess, is there a reinterpretation of a comic character that you think is better than the original standard take?
I mean, the obvious answer here is, I'm going to go for the obvious answer here, is The Boys.
Okay.
All of the characters are better in the TV show than they are on the comic page, which is a horrible, bad comic.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be my answer to that, is The Boys.
I'm going to go with Iron Man. That Tony Stark was not a quippy little guy in the comics until Robert Downey Jr. showed up. Kind of changed things around.
You know, Shane Black had something really interesting to say this week. He's been pushing his new Amazon release that's coming out, and he's been doing a lot of press, which is very unusual for Shane Black. And he's doing a lot of press. And in one of the things they asked him about Downey, who's like one of his best friends and who he directed in Iron Man 3, coming back and doing Dr. Doom. And Shane Black, who I truly believe has no reason to lie. Sure. Do you know what I mean? Like, like I think there's zero reason for Shane Black to lie. And he's not the kind of guy that just blows smoke up people's ass. He said that when it was first announced that Shane Black, thought it was really cynical and a bad idea. But now that he knows what Downey's doing, he thinks it's going to reinvigorate superhero movies the way that Iron Man did.
Okay.
I mean, so it's one of his good buddies, so he's definitely blowing a little bit of smoke up Downey's ass. But I think when he begins that statement with, I thought this was a cynical idea, but I was wrong, I think that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I think the big fear we all have is he's just going to do Dr. Doom as Tony Stark. But I think Downey's an actor. You know what I mean?
I don't think Downey would want to do that.
That's the thing. Yeah, I think he wouldn't want to do it that way.
Yeah.
So,
and I firmly believe that Downey would go to Black and be like, hey, this is what we're doing. What do you think of this? You know, and get some input.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Downey went to Black and was like, can you punch up some of my dumb?
Hey, can you finish the script? We don't have an ending. And Black was like, "Is it during Christmas?" And Downey's like, "No." He's like, "Well, then I'm not touching it.
I'm not going near it, baby.
It's got to be Christmas, or I don't touch it." But yeah, I would go with Iron Man. I never cared for Iron Man in the comics, but he's great in the movie.
Yeah. Are you watching Gen V, the second season?
I am.
That they secretly put out and did not tell anybody was happening?
Yeah.
Strange choice. I've watched the first 3. I didn't watch the latest episode that came out this week. And it's funny because when I put the show on and I'm watching it, I enjoy it while I'm watching it. But the idea of watching it feels overwhelming and like something I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Do you have shows like that where you're like, when I'm actually watching, I'm like, oh, this is really good. But the idea of putting it on is just like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. Gen V is like 100% that show for me.
Yeah. My problem with it this season, and I got some of this with the last season of The Boys, is I feel like they're just repeating gross out stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, either mature and stop doing that or find new gross out stuff. But like,
I don't think
there's a certain point where it's like, oh, that guy's inside that guy's butt. Ha ha. Is like,
they actually do it again. Yeah, they do that again in this. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess I don't, whatever gross out stuff I love, so repeat it if you want. Like, that's totally okay with me. I think that the problem that I have, and I'm going to sound like somebody complaining about the Marvel movies, is that I watch episodes of The Boys and I have to pause it and look things up. Because I'm supposed to remember something that happened. Sorry, the Gen V. I'm supposed to remember something that happened on The Boys 3 years ago, and something that happened on Gen V season 1 2 years ago. And I'm like, I don't even know who these characters' names are. Like, I barely remember what their powers are. You cannot just be dropping things that are references to season 2 of The Boys and expect me to actually have a fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah,
I'm like an engaged viewer. Like, I'm not a total dummy, but like a lot of times on Gen V, I'm like, wait, what are they talking about? Am I supposed to know what this is?
Yeah, and this is a consistent problem with a lot of streaming shows when they take years between seasons.
Right, you have no idea what the fuck is happening anymore.
Yeah, like even with Peacemaker, there are moments where I'm like, wait, what happened in the first season? Because they're clearly referencing the first season, and I don't remember what it was. It was 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
It's quite a long time.
Yeah.
Like, you got to fix these schedules. I know the Duffer Brothers claim this is the best way to do TV.
I think how do they know?
Completely wrong.
How do they know? Do they do regular TV shows from the back in the day before streaming? They're not old enough.
I don't know what they did before Stranger Things.
Yeah, they're not old enough.
No idea. I have no clue what they were doing before that. Maybe they were writing on Cheers. I don't know.
Listen, back when we worked on the Dick Van Dyke Show, let me tell you that...
Actually, Stranger Things was a plot line for the Dick Van Dyke Show that they rejected.
It was going to be Ed Asner instead of 11, but, that's why she had to be bald. Anyway, yeah, I mean, also, the other problem with Gen V, and I think it's going to happen with season 5 of The Boys, is that the show, reality has outpaced the show's satire.
Yes.
But not like in this is more like, this is depressing. Like, I'm sad. I'm sad that I'd rather live in the world of the dystopian superheroes that are murdering people than in the world that we have right here. Like, that's never been the case with this show. Yeah. And now I'm like, well, at least, I understand there's a profit motive here that makes sense to me, as opposed to now where the profit motive is just for one guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, So anyway, it's just kind of a bummer. It's like a bummer, those shows. And I feel like I need stuff that's... One of the things I like about One Battle After Another is that it's a movie very much about the current fascist moment, but it's not a bummer.
No.
It's not a bummer movie. It's not one of these, like, well, we're fucked. You know what I mean? Movies. That's not the fucking vibe. The vibe is also not like, we're definitely winning this, but the vibe is we can fight, we can stand up.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I want to see out of these kinds of shows.
Yeah. I have a feeling that's what the final season of The Boys is going to be a lot of.
I have to imagine, especially as they have been making the show during the course of this historical moment, I wouldn't be surprised if their original premise for the finale was going to be different or something like that. But I suspect that they have got to make the final season kind of like end on a big happy note that we're going to feel good about.
Yeah.
So.
Unless they plan on doing more spin-offs, then they may not want to. But who knows?
That's a good point.
Yeah. They can always do spin-offs in the past, like the Soldier Boy show.
It's kind of crazy that The Boys has 2 spin-offs.
It is wild. I thought about this the other day. That Seth Rogen is the most successful person to come out of Freaks and Geeks is shocking to me.
And he's the most successful by like miles.
By a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. And that's not, and when you say that, people will think, oh, well, what has he made that's so successful? He doesn't make these big, but he produces this stuff.
Yes.
Like the Boys Universe, that's all him. He produces a bunch of shit that makes pretty good money. And he's really good at selling TV shows. His Point Grey is really good at selling TV shows. And that's very profitable right now.
Yeah. So the studio won a bunch of Emmys.
Yep. He won an Emmy. Yep.
He won an Emmy, and Platonic got a second season.
Yep.
Which I was surprised by because it was clearly not meant to have more than one season. So they ran into some problems there. But yeah, he's very successful. It's pretty wild. Yeah. You know, and now he's going to go do Donkey Kong movies, and those will make $1 billion. And there you go.
All right, what's our final letter?
He makes pottery.
Yeah, he does. He makes weed pottery.
Yeah. Our final letter is from MIKE to the D, Mike D himself. He says, "Hi guys, first time, long time. How do you guys feel about going to the movies alone? I've been doing it essentially since I could drive. Family, friends, and others have always acted like I'm crazy for going to the movies alone. I'm sitting in a dark room paying attention to the screen. Why do I need someone with me? This is not to say I always go alone. When I was younger, I would go to some movies with friends, and now I do go to certain movies with my kids. I have a feeling you guys will agree with me, so I'm just looking for validation. Thanks for all the great hours of entertaining podcasts." I love going to the movies alone. I love it. It's like one of my favorite things in the universe. So I'm all for it. Yeah, I also like to go to like restaurants alone. So take that.
I like to go to the movies alone, and there's a couple of reasons. One is I get to choose. It doesn't have to be a thing. I'm not beholden to somebody else's schedule. I get to go when I want to go to the movie. And often I want to go early in the day. That's like as I've gotten older, I've turned into the matinee guy. Like it's just easier and better for me to just go empty theater, like all that kind of stuff. But also, yeah, I mean, like I do like talking. So I hit a really weird stage psychologically, which is that once upon a time, especially before I got sober, I really relished being the movie guy, and people would like ask me for my opinions about movies, and I would fucking go off, just go. And now, what's going on?
I have a cut in my face.
Is this a Conjuring movie?
Maybe.
Where'd you get a cut on your face from?
I don't know. I must have scratched it.
Wow. But now when somebody asks me my opinion on a movie, I'm very often replying like, "Oh, I thought it was nice." Like I don't want to talk about it. Like, and it's because I feel overwhelming. Like I feel like I am overwhelming, and if somebody has a different opinion than me, it's hard for me not to argue, and I don't want to be doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to have a discussion with somebody who hates a movie that I liked without arguing about it. Yeah, look at Derek's little laugh face here.
Listen to the latest Watchmen. No, we did not argue on the latest one, I don't think.
Not really. No, we had a great time on the latest Watchmen. Spider-Man 3, one of our better episodes we've ever recorded, I would say.
I think Batman Returns, we had a big argument.
We had a couple of them. I mean, we used to argue a lot more in the early days of these podcasts.
Yes.
But I've now come to the conclusion that you will actually walk off the podcast. Like that's the thing. So like back in the early days, I used to really enjoy like pushing your buttons and stuff like that. I thought it was funny. But now I'm like, I think he might actually leave. Like I think he might leave in the middle of a recording. Like I think that's actually a thing that could happen.
It's crossed my mind.
Yeah, no. And so like I was like, you know what? Like I'm not gonna keep pushing the buttons. I'm gonna it was fun when we used to do it, but until such time as I feel that you're fully loyal to the podcasts, when you're making a living off of these podcasts, then I'll fucking push your buttons because
if I'm making pizza money off these podcasts.
But yeah, I love going to the movies alone. It's a great experience. And then you get to choose. It's your choice, man.
You go the time you want to go.
You sit where you want to sit.
Yeah. You don't have to share your popcorn with somebody who's like, I don't want any popcorn, and then they eat half your popcorn. You're like, son of a bitch. Talking to you, Nathaniel.
Look at the different colors my ring light does. Do you see these?
Oh, you got a little blue. Orange.
Back to the white. This is a white. And then I can also, this is so exciting for the people at home, I can turn it off. And but I mean, like, I'm like stepping it, you know, I can just like turn it off, but I'm stepping it. So
yeah.
So anyway, this fixes the problem of me forgetting to put my lights on as the sun sets here in LA, and which has been a problem in a lot of podcasts we're recording visually, where I just forget to do that.
I can do that too. Ooh,
that's just your screen, though, right?
No, this is the remote for my camera.
The camera has a light on it?
No, it just changes the aperture.
Oh, it just... Oh, okay. Okay.
Look at that. I'm younger.
So, Derek, where can people ask questions themselves? Whoa, holy shit. If you're listening at home, Derek has got a super zoom feature on his camera that he has just abused terribly in a way that was honestly upsetting. We're going to have to put some kind of trigger warning on this episode.
Old man face up close.
Where can people ask their questions?
They can ask them at email ask.cinema.sanga@gmail.com. In the subject line, put what show you want it for, Marvel, Vision, or Bad Batch. And then one question per email, please. It just makes it easier for me to keep track of where we are.
We're going to have Dappy on next week again?
Who knows? Who knows?
It's the Dappy on show here.
It's a great mystery.
All right. You ready to talk about the next episode of Peacemaker?
Who is Dapion? There you go.
Jesus Christ.
That's fun.
That is...
I want to see what this button does. This button's
we're going to find out what's going to happen.
Oh, it flips me around.
Oh, it flips you. Oh, wow. We're going to give somebody a seizure. All right. You ready to talk about the next episode of Peacemaker?
I am.
Let's do it. Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 6. Ignorance is Chris. Let's just talk about this right up front, because this has been a big topic of conversation between you and I for many episodes of this podcast. Oh, I'm getting my Citizen app notifications on my computer. I don't even know why that's happening.
What's up, Batman?
So I've told this story that I have run out of my house when there's been a Citizen alert.
Yeah,
that's close to me. I have done that. I have
like a
definitely...
dog seeing a squirrel.
I did it the other night. There was a guy being violent at the gas station on my corner, so I went out to go check it out. Like what am I gonna do? But I went to go check it out. I kind of like, if I could die like a hero, like River Phoenix and Stand By Me, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Where he's like he grows up to be a lawyer and he's trying to like get between two guys who are arguing and then they stab him. Yeah, yeah. I always thought that was how what's his name died from the Little Rascals. Alfalfa.
Alfalfa, yeah. No,
but that's not how Alfalfa died. He died.
He got stabbed though, right?
He got shot, I want to say.
And he was being a jerk.
He was being a total dick. Like, he was absolutely asking for it. Like, I'm not saying it's okay to kill Alfalfa. I love Alfalfa.
He was like, I'm the Alfalfa male.
That's the shirt. There it is. I'm the Alfalfa male.
I gotta design that tonight. Get out.
Yeah, he died.
Write that down because I'm gonna forget.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
But I'd like that. That'd be a good way to die, man. Like, that'd be a really good way to die. Anyway, for weeks now, we've been arguing about whether or not the other world in Peacemaker Season 2 is Earth X, which is the Nazi-controlled world in the DC Comics universe. And you said that you hoped it wasn't, and that you didn't think it was. And it turns out that it is. How does this make you feel?
I mean, we'll see where the story goes. I think to me, it's too big of a thing to give Chris a hard decision to make.
But I think the premise is that it's not supposed to be a hard decision. I think that's
the thing is, watching this episode, I think he's already made his decision to go back. When Harcourt shows up and she's like, "We all came to get you," I think he's like, I have to go back.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think that the premise here, I think that we thought that the season's question was going to be, what choice will he make? I don't think that that's going to end up being what it is. I think that we were kind of had the wrong idea on that. But I think it was on purpose. I think that they were.
No, very much so. Very much so. I wish I could remember who it was. There was something I read. I would love to give the person credit, but I can't remember who it was, that broke down the season in a really interesting way, that the whole season, every one of these characters is so self-absorbed in their own life that they're not seeing everything happening around them.
Right.
And this is obviously for Peacemaker, it's the biggest. He's hanging out on a Nazi planet.
Right.
But Adebayo is her wife has left her. She doesn't realize the guy is calling because he thinks that she's a sex worker. Like, she's just so caught up in what she believes reality is that she's missing these things. And Harcourt is missing that people care about her, so she's going out there and getting herself beat up and yada, yada, yada. And Rick Flag Sr. is so caught up in avenging his son's death that he's missing everything else that's happening around him and that kind of stuff. And as they explained, like, the only people who are not dealing with that are Vigilante and Flurry. And everyone else is very self-obsessed. So, but even Vigilante, his whole thing is wanting to meet the other him. Even he is to the point that
he's
as they say in this
literally
episode,
self-obsessed.
Yeah. He's literally self-obsessed, and he's at the end of the last episode, he's crying that Peacemaker has left. They go to the New Earth, and all he wants to do is find himself. He's no longer interested in finding Chris.
Right. But when we get to the reveal, I'll talk about this more. But I think that people may be missing some of what the Earth X stuff is supposed to be. I think when they talk about Peacemaker not recognizing that he was in a Nazi Earth, I think that they might be missing. And there's a thing that James Gunn said about next episode that I think indicates what maybe he's doing. Anyway, we open our episode in some restaurant that has live, love, laugh shit on the walls. Yeah. And they are celebrating having defeated the kaiju. They're covered in kaiju juice. Yes. And everything seems great. And these kids are really excited to see the top trio. And they come over and they ask for a selfie.
And Superman reference.
Yeah, we do have a Superman reference.
Yeah, Blue Dragon loves taking selfies.
Yeah. So they have this moment where we're like, Blue Dragon's trying to take the selfie. He's doing a really bad job. They end up Harcourt takes it for them, and everybody's in it. And then we get this moment where it freeze frames and everybody's face melts. This is the first episode that doesn't open with a flashback.
Nope. No flashback.
Which I think speaks to my problem with the season. Yeah. Actually, which is that everything else felt like prelude as opposed to story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, everything else, because that stuff all had the flashbacks at the beginning, that's all one separate section. And now that we've got to the story, we are actually telling the story.
Yeah.
And so that's been my problem with the first 5 episodes of this season, have been that I felt like it was like a lot of wheel spinning and a lot of setting things up that we did not need to get set up, frankly. And this end of this episode really only makes me feel doubly as much about it.
Again, I think all of the previous 5 episodes were about character building. And so to me, it never felt like much wheel spinning. It felt like we're getting pieces of these characters. And now we have essentially 2 to 3 episodes that are, action plot.
I mean, the thing is that the 5 episodes is 2 hours longer than One Battle After Another. And I just don't know. Yeah.
These episodes are an hour.
But neither is One Battle After Another is 240. Yeah. So it's okay. So it's like an hour and a half longer than it's longer than One Battle After Another. Yeah. Okay. You gonna do the math on this? Like conceptually. No, conceptually. So I just feel like there's a way to have done some of this stuff tighter. Yeah. But I think the problem is he didn't have a story that could hold 8 episodes. I think that's the thing. I think that the story of Earth X and all this stuff just could not sustain 8 episodes. And then because of the way that everything was focused on character stuff, he didn't give anybody anything else to do.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like everybody's doing stuff and then they come together to go to Earth X. Everybody's doing nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem that I've had with in this episode. Everybody has something to do, and I feel very good about that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I feel very, very good about that. Everybody has their own little thing. Everybody's shit is going to work out in their own little way, and I just wish we had that for 5 episodes, because it just feels like everybody else is just waiting for the story to start. They're just waiting. Like, how many times do we need to see that Harcourt's upset and that she's like, like fucked up or whatever? Like, we got it, like, at a certain point. And she's not doing anything except telling us these character beats. So I think that's why this episode actually made me kind of like the previous 5 a little bit less. Because I'm like, oh no, you could have taken these people and given them things to do. You know how to do that. Like, you don't have to have them all just standing around talking about Chris all the time. Anyway, they're in the new. They're going to go to the new Earth, and they have to set up the door someplace. So they're going to do it in Vigilante's house. They're going to go down into his basement. Vigilante warns them that his mom is kind of a biatch, and the second he says that, you know exactly what's the story. Like,
what's that? Yeah.
There's no question that she's going to be the nicest lady who ever lived. Like, and I do love like what a fucking teenager he is. Like, Mom, like, it's really good, and he's just. The minute that he walks into the house and sees her in the kitchen, he is like, we're going to my secret room. You're not allowed to follow. And he's just immediately annoyed by her. Leota gives her a big hug. It's very sweet. She ends up following them downstairs, continues yapping how excited that she is. Adrian has friends, because obviously...
Ever since his D&D group broke up.
And she became a 40th level cut purse because he needed to continue the game. So they get downstairs, and she lets everybody know that Adrian's been telling her that Harcourt was his girlfriend, and he had to dump her because she's too slutty. And I thought that was very great and very funny. And he's very freaked out.
The moment in that conversation when it cuts to Leota and Economos looking at each other is so good, where they're both like, ooh, this is going to be fun. It's really great.
My favorite part is after the mom leaves, Harcourt's like, you had to tell your mom I was slutty? And he's like, yeah, I had to base the lie in some truth. So they go to the Vigilante cave. It's full of cash and cocaine. Which I really love this idea that, like, when he kills drug dealers and stuff, he just takes their stuff and just stores it here. There's millions of dollars in this fucking space. Just huge pallets full of cash, like unbelievable amounts. And at one point, Leota's like, wait, you said you were broke. You made me buy your lunch the other day. And he goes, I can't use this. It's blood money. And so the 11th Street kids immediately begin stealing it. They immediately start shoving their pockets and their pants full of money because fuck. So he suits up and they set up the door.
Here's a nerdy question for you.
What's that?
Does Adrian need glasses? Or does he wear glasses thinking it helps make people think he's not vigilante?
He needs glasses. I would say that his vigilante helmet has
his prescription
on it. Yeah, that's what I would guess.
Okay.
I mean, you know, how he does that, who knows? But like, that's my guess on the matter.
Sure. I mean, they're just ski goggles, so he could go and get like prescription ski goggles.
Yeah, I guess that's right. You could do that, right?
Yeah.
I
would think so. I'm guessing off the top of my head.
I'm assuming that you could pay a lot of money to get somebody to do that, and it wouldn't seem crazy. Like, getting ski goggles, I want to be able to see on the slopes. You know, I don't want to carry my fucking glasses around. Yeah. I'm sure there's some skiers out there who will back us up that this is actually a reasonable request. So they set up the door, and Leota really undersells what's going to happen.
Yes.
She's like, everybody get to the back. Like, they should have left the room. Like,
honestly, everyone get out of the house. Like,
get your mom out of this house just in case. It was a pretty...
Here's a second thing some people have theorized online, that these are boom tubes. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, there's a whole thing that people think that the Peacemaker helmets come from New Genesis.
Yeah, I don't like that personally.
And that would tie into the boom tube thing, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think Gunn's going to touch that stuff. I don't think he's going to go near the New Gods.
Yeah, I think
because
I mean, they're doing a Mr. Miracle animated series.
Yeah, but like, is that even going to be canon?
I don't know. Nobody
That's
knows.
the thing. Like, it might just be a thing they're doing, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't really know. Especially if they're doing the fact that they're doing the animated series and it's based on that comic makes me feel like it's not going to be canon.
Yeah.
It's just I can't imagine there's a way to do that without fucking putting whoever wants to make a New Gods movie up against the corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's just no way to, because it's so deeply steeped in the history of New Gods and the relationships. You can definitely, as an animated series, get that across. But, like, you are establishing a lot of shit that you're not letting somebody else establish. So I would have to imagine. Hey, by the way, I meant to mention this in the opening. I texted you about the new history of the DC Universe issue 3, and you didn't reply to me. Was it because you're sick and tired of me saying the thing that I said to you in the text?
I mean, I guess partly. I don't know. I had nothing to say. Like, yeah, this is a big problem that DC has had for the last 30 years.
It's just really interesting. So, the new history of the DC Universe is a 4-issue series by Mark Waid that is supposed to tell everybody what actually happened, like what's canon now, because it's very confusing. And it's like very confusing, by the way. I always like kind of roll my eyes at when people say this stuff is confusing, but I've been reading a bunch of DC comics on the DC Infinity app, and it is legitimately baffling to me. I've been reading Tom Taylor's Nightwing, and I have no idea how it's possible that John Kent is 18 years old. I mean, like, it just seems insane.
He got aged up. He got trapped on Earth 3 and aged up.
Yeah, no, they eventually explain that, but I can't imagine how no characters in that universe are questioning that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
why would they question that?
Because he became big overnight.
Yeah, but this is fucking DC. It's the same as in Marvel Universe where they're like, "Oh, Jean Grey, no, she was in a cocoon the whole time. It's fine." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Well, I think
it wasn't really Professor X that turned into Onslaught. It's okay.
Well, here's the thing. So
that's cool.
The book that I'm reading, the Nightwing book that I'm reading, John makes it clear that he has told nobody he's been aged up. That he didn't even tell his mom and dad. That he was trapped in hell for 5 years. And that he was waiting.
No, they know. Of course.
I'm telling you that in the comic he says.
I don't know. I don't remember what it says in that comic, but I read the story where it happens, and he comes back, and it's not like Lois and Clark are like, "Oh, you're still 12." Like, you got
a real growth spurt overnight.
Yeah, no. There's a whole thing where they discuss that for him it was 5 years, for them it was a summer, and all that stuff. Like,
I mean, he tells Dick Grayson that I never told anybody, not even my mom and dad, but I was here for 5 years, and the whole time. Although maybe I read it wrong. Maybe what he's telling
never told him what happened to him.
Okay, that's what I'm repeating this. I'm like, okay, maybe that's actually the case. Yeah. Anyway, the new history of the DC Universe, for some reason, written by Wally West. Also, Wally West.
It's by Barry.
I mean, sorry, Barry Allen. Sorry, not super concerned with people's secret identities. No. As he is just talking about Batman and Bruce Wayne. Like, he's just talking about it. But it basically goes from the end of Crisis and the sort of that to, like, kind of right up to the New 52 almost, it feels like.
Okay.
And everything that happens in the pages of this comic is another crisis event, another reset. There's like 3 different times where somebody says, and this event changed our history slightly. And you're like, okay, this is too much. This is too much. And it's funny because, like, even to just read it in that format, you're like, oh, this is repetitive as shit. Like, and it's always the same characters too. That's the craziest part. It's always Darkseid. It's always some version of the Monitor, or the Anti-Monitor, or it's Extant. Like, these are the 3 characters that do every single crossover. It seems like. Is that correct?
I mean, it is, but also those are the 3 crossovers. So I don't, like, events where time was shifted. I don't know to say, like, it's always the same character. It's 3 different storylines with 3 different villains. Like,
well, no, like, so Extant shows up.
The same plot is the problem.
Well, it's always the same plot. The universe is being disintegrated, and we have to stop it. And when we fix it, it's now changed. Yeah. It's this exact that happens like a number of times in a row in this comic, to the point where you're like, you're wondering, like, do people in the DC universe? We talked about how, like, in Astro City, it's like, how can you prove that my client did it? It could have been an extraterrestrial or a shapeshifter. But, like, do people in the DC universe say, like, oh, I thought I paid that bill. I must have been the old universe. Like, is that like a thing that people do? Like, oh, shit, when in reality reset, it turns out my bill was not paid. Oh, my God. Yeah. Like, I'm really curious, like, if that's, like, a thing.
That's the one change?
God damn it. But I'm just like, I guess regular civilians don't know that history changed. I guess, like, in the DC universe, they have a lot of Mandela effect probably going on. Like,
there's a lot of back and forth in DC on how much is known to everybody. Like, the world knows there have been crisis events. It's not clear if the world fully knows, like average citizen knows, that reality has been rewritten multiple times.
Right.
That's not clear. They did a whole storyline, a miniseries where Lois Lane reveals to the world that there's a multiverse and that heroes and villains travel through it quite often. And people did not know that previously, right? So, like, that was a big deal, except nobody ever brought it up again, as happens, you know. So
that's like, standard. Yeah, that's standard.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those, like, not discussed things. Like, every now and then there'll be a comic that's got, like, a joke about it where somebody's like, you're like, oh, I just got a raise and now they're resetting the universe. This sucks, right. Like that kind of thing. But, like, you know, it doesn't come up that often. You know, I mean, it comes up, the universe stuff comes up all the time because it seems like every storyline is just waiting for the next reboot. So, you know, that happens.
It's funny reading this Nightwing. I've been reading Tom Taylor's Nightwing. By the way, I love it. And
it's very good. It's a very good series.
And I kind of have fallen in love with Nightwing.
Yes.
As a character.
Well, he did the one thing I've said people need to stop doing with Nightwing, which is stop making it like he's different than Batman. This is Nightwing. We're not going to prove to you he's different than Batman.
You just know that he is. Yeah, he just is. Yeah. Like, and I think he does a really great job with the Bat family. Like, I think it really fucking sings. Like, the relationships really sing. To the point where the fact that Dick is sleeping with Barbara Gordon feels creepy because it feels like he's sleeping with his cousin. Sure. But even in this book, every now and again, somebody has to say, oh, it used to be like this, but now it's this. And you're like, oh my God, we have to do that even in this book where the premise is Dick Grayson has started a charitable foundation. We still have to mention that stuff. It's kind of wacky. But
he did one thing in that book that nobody had done in decades.
Showed Dick Grayson's penis.
No.
It was only Batman's penis that's ever been seen.
Only Batman's penis gets seen. No, he remembered that Dick Grayson and Wally West are best friends. Yeah. Which has been a thing since, you know, the Wolfman Perez Teen Titans days, but they rarely interact. And it's so weird that they're like the best of buddies, and, you know, maybe once every 10 years they talk to each other in the comics. And it's like, that's weird. Why don't they talk more often? So it was nice to see a good amount. And also at the same time in Flash, Nightwing showed up in that a couple of times. So it was nice to see that relationship remembered in some way. Yeah,
and you know what's nice too in this Nightwing run that I'm reading is that the Titans show up a couple of times, and they show up like definitely not for crossover events. Like they show up because like they think Dick might need help. Yeah. And I like that because I like that premise about the Titans, that they are all really great friends. Like they're really great friends. And so they're going to show up and look out for each other, as opposed to having to show up only when there's a crossover or there's a world ending event. It's like there's a point where Dick, somebody's trying to kill Dick Grayson, and they show up to just protect him. Like, you know, I love it. I thought that was really, really terrific.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's a really good run. It's a really, really good run.
Is it still good, Nightwing?
I have not read it since he left the book, so I can't say.
Okay.
I cannot say.
I tried to read the Titans title that's current.
And then I can never get into Titans.
So I like the characters in Titans, and I was trying to read the Titans, and then it ends up that the entire thing was the prologue to a crossover event that seemed like the stupidest crossover of all time, and that has 75 books in it, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm out. Beast Boy becomes Starro.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this sucks. Like this sucks. This is not interesting. Like there's nothing interesting about this at all.
Yeah, I read that. One.
So I kind of...
That's about the time I stopped reading it too. I was like, when Batman's like, Beast Boy, you're one of the most important heroes in the world. I was like, no, he's not. He's fucking Beast Boy. What are you talking about?
Anyway, so they're in the basement. Boy, we really went off on that one.
You know what I read?
What'd you read?
I read Black Canary, Best of the Best, and that is very good.
Yeah?
Yes, I enjoyed that very much. I highly recommend it.
I've been reading the current Superman book, the Wade Superman book.
Which one?
The Wade one, I think it is. Isn't he doing one?
He's doing action. He's doing action where it's all action Superboy stories.
Oh no, who's doing the Legion ones? He's in the future.
I think that's Williamson, isn't it?
Is that Williams? I don't know. Who knows?
I think so. It's good.
It's interesting. It's all lead into a crossover event, though.
Yeah. And personally, I wouldn't have complained if Superboy Prime did not come back. I was quite happy with how they finished Superboy Prime's storyline in Death Metal. I thought it was a good ending.
I don't know how they did it, but I will say that actually I think he's pretty funny here.
He's very funny in it, which makes it easier to deal with. But in death metal, he dies trying to help the heroes, even though throughout the whole storyline, the heroes are like, this guy should not be hanging out with us because we know what he likes to do to heroes. And but he ends up sacrificing himself to save all of them, and none of them see this. They're all fighting different battles, and he just kind of dies alone, except Crypto is there, and Crypto just like lays down next to him. And then we see like his heaven, and it's him on his own earth saving people. And I was like, that's a good finale to that character.
That's where he begins, I think, at this storyline, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
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 But I kind of liked that the character, because he's a comic book guy from our Earth, is like, oh, of course I got resurrected. Like, that's what happens. Yeah. That's the deal. Like, that's how it happens. You die, you come back. Like, so
and he does have a good joke in it where he's like, man, they really got to stop rebooting the Legion. Like, there's too many of them.
There's too many of them, yeah. Anyway, we're in the basement, and they're setting up the door, and they turn it on, and the door does the explosion thing, and the explosion thing blows open all of the cocaine that's down there, and they all get fucking coated in cocaine.
Yes.
And it's a funny joke, but it actually also ends up being like a plot point, which I think is nice writing. You know what I mean? Like, that's nice writing, because it's a good joke. It's stupid. It's funny. Them all standing there. They basically they got the old fashioned, you know, like they got the powder to the face kind of a joke that they used to love doing on Jackass, you know. Although I wish they were all high.
That's the thing, is there is a good payoff to it later on a little bit, but my thought when that happened was like, oh, they're all going to go into this other Earth and they're all coked up, and that's going to be a problem. And it's not. They're all pretty fine. None of them,
they're all
I guess
fine.
None of them breathed in.
Yeah, they're all fine. I mean, like, but like, yeah, I mean, it would have been. This is the part where Vigilante, when Economist's like, why don't you fucking flush your drugs like everybody else? And Vigilante's like, because of the alligators in the sewers, you callous piece of shit. And then he's
we already have a drug epidemic in this country. We don't need to spread it to the alligators.
And Economos goes, you moron. And he goes, what does it have to do with the alligators? I think it's such a great response. It's so fucking good.
That's the second time they've had that response from Vigilante, because in season 1, when they're questioning him and Peacemaker are questioning the Goth butterfly, and Vigilante can't understand that you can only do yes or no questions. And he's like, there's too many rules to how to do this. And Peacemaker goes, there's 2 rules: yes or no questions, and don't be a moron. And he goes, well, how am I supposed to follow that second one? I love it.
Our heroes go into the quantum unfolding chamber, and they meet the alien that cooks the rat cats.
Yes.
And we have a lengthy bit about what waving might mean to different species. And we then cut to Argus, and Flurry comes in and tells Rick Flag Sr. that everybody's disappeared. They don't know where anybody is. They can't find Judo Master, Economos, and Harcourt have gone. And Rick Flag Sr. is like, you gotta find Peacemaker. This is incredibly important to U.S. and to the world. And then this is the best joke, I think, in the episode, is that Rick Flag Sr. is like, all right, I need to think. Let me think. And then Flurry comes and sits down at his desk and just starts going, It's so fucking funny.
I'll tell you,
it's so fucking funny.
Oh, it's great. I mean, Tim Meadows, the best. And there's so many theories online of Flurry being like a Martian or a Venusian or something else other than a regular human guy. And stuff like this, it's real hard for me to argue against that, but I don't want him to be something else. I just want him to be this weird guy. You know?
On the podcast, the Peacemaker podcast, Gunn said that this was on this day.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's no like sense that this was like built in to give us a hint. He just thought it'd be funny, and it is really fucking funny.
Very funny.
It's super fucking funny. And I just think that he's just a James Gunn character. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's just one of the dumb characters. Like, that's the thing. Like, we love these dumb characters, and I think he's just one of those dumb characters. And he's a really classic James Gunn character. He's a dumb character who really wants to connect with somebody.
Yes.
You know?
And I think he's also a good person.
Yes.
Despite it all. Despite how weird they are or goofy they can be. Yeah.
So Flag Senior realizes that they got to go down to Belle Reef, and so he gets his plane all fueled up and ready to go. Our other heroes in the quantum unfolding chamber, they find the door where the other Peacemaker lives.
I love that they're all cleaning themselves off of the cocaine, but Vigilante is cleaning off Economos.
Yes.
He's taking care of Economos. That made me laugh very hard.
They get through the door and they see the house, and they're like, holy shit, no wonder he wants to live here. Like, this Peacemaker's doing really well. And they kind of wander around the house. They're not really sure what to do. They don't know where to find Peacemaker. And so they end up in his bedroom. And they're kind of talking about, like, what are we going to do? How are we going to deal with this? And then all of a sudden they hear Kenneth down the hall go, Amelia, is that you? And everybody else hides in the bathroom. And she has this very awkward, very strange conversation with him.
Economos is in the bathroom. She slams the door.
Oh, yeah.
Adebayo and Vigilante are in the closet.
In the closet, yeah.
And during this whole conversation, Vigilante is trying on Peacemaker's clothes, which I greatly enjoy.
Yeah.
Taking out the hat and, like, dancing with it.
And Adebayo is like, what are you doing the whole time? Like, what are you doing? Yes. And Harcourt can't make this work. She is a black ops agent who kills people, not a black ops agent who goes undercover as characters.
No.
And so she is trying. So, like, Kenneth's like, hey, I thought you guys were going to Argus together. She's like, oh yeah, I came here to take this big shit. And then he's like, well, but what are you still doing here? And she's like, I'm here to get this thing. And she pulls the thing off of his shelf. I don't understand. It's the joke. I get that it's the joke. But, like, within the universe, I don't understand why she doesn't pick up the picture of her and Peacemaker together.
Yeah,
and say, Chris wanted me to put this on my desk.
No, I think that set up why she wouldn't pick it up. Because when they first entered the room, she
says
looked
it's
at
gross
it and she's
weird.
like, this is gross. So I think she would want to not think about that.
I guess, but that feels like a much easier... Because even when she picks up the snow globe, she's like, she has no idea why.
Why? Yeah.
This would be the thing. And it turns out that Chris's mom gave it to him on her deathbed. And this makes everything much more uncomfortable and strange. And he says, hey, let me drive you to Argus, since that's where you're going anyway. And she tries to say no, but, it's not going to work. And so she does end up going. And Adebayo, again, is like, what the fuck are you doing? When they leave, our heroes come out of their hiding spaces, and Economos immediately begins throwing up almost.
He's dry heaving at the idea that Keith is alive.
Yeah, it's just too weird for him to possibly deal with. And so now they're all left behind. Vigilante is like, hey, so I'm going to go find myself. And he's like, I think we need to divide and conquer. And they're like, no, what? No. He's like, I'm going to go find my other self. And I'm going to ask him about Peacemaker, because it makes sense that he is best friends with Peacemaker in this universe, too.
It's got to be a multiversal constant.
Yes, a multiversal constant. Yes, I love that. Yeah. And this is where he denies that he was crying last week. And because Adebayo's like, wait, you were crying about Chris leaving yesterday, and now you don't even want to go find him. And so he goes off to do that. And then we cut to Peacemaker is in bed with other Harcourt. They have gone from, I guess, that lunch that we saw them in, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time has passed. I don't know how long we're supposed to read the cutting back and forth.
They say at the beginning of the episode, when they set up the stuff in Vigilante's house, they set up the teleporter. They say that it was yesterday that they got the teleporter. So, which is kind of weird to me that they were, because when the last episode ended, it was the middle of the day, and they're like, let's go do this. And they all get in the car, and then they're like, okay, well, we're hanging out here.
They might have gone. Confused. They couldn't. I don't know why they.
Oh, you know what it is? Because Adebayo and Vigilante got the teleporter from the cabin at night, and so this is the next day where they're all in the hotel at the end of the last episode was the next day, and this is still that day. And when they said we got it yesterday, they're talking about the cabin. Okay. So
he then is gone right from that lunch with the family to sleeping with Harcourt, and
I think
he's
it's
like,
breakfast is my theory.
Is it breakfast? That makes sense.
Because
they were fighting the kaiju at night.
Yeah.
And then we cut to our Harcourt, and she's driving around with the dead brother, and we discover that the two biggest bands in the world are Helloween and the Beatles.
Yes.
And that Mick Jagger's the singer of the Beatles. Yes. I'm going to say something that
Helloween has more hits than the Beatles.
This is going to be nitpicky.
Yeah.
But I think that this character is the kind of dork that I don't know if I'm supposed to accept that what he's saying is true.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like the thing is that these
test her out?
He just is like the kind of guy who loves Halloween, and thus it's the two biggest. You know what I mean? Like that's like a real James Gunn character trait to do something like that. Like you could imagine Vigilante doing that.
Sure.
Like his favorite band is one of the biggest bands. How did you not listen to that? It's one of the biggest bands ever. And so within the moment, I'm like, I guess I'm supposed to understand that this is actually true, but it's just not 100% super clear to me.
Yeah.
So it didn't land as well as I would have liked it to land as a joke. So I know it's very nitpicky, but I think there's got to be some way that, I don't know.
I mean, for me, it's always going to go back to my buddy John, who came up with a movie idea, not unlike the movie Yesterday, where this guy travels to a world where the Beatles never existed, and the biggest band in the world is Men at Work. And so when he said Halloween, I was like, I should have been Men at Work. Men at Work's a funnier band, like name-wise, than like because Halloween, you're just not going to buy. Halloween became the biggest band in the world. But Men at Work, that sounds like a name of a band.
I think that's the problem. That's the problem. I think that Halloween is such a niche band in general, and their sound is so particular that it is one of those things where I was like, is that am I supposed to take this at face value? Men at Work, I would take it at face value because that's a band that had radio hits in this universe, and also it's like mostly inoffensive sounding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, they Gunn said that the Beatles in this universe is spelled Beetles.
Yes.
Which makes sense because this is the world where the Nazis won World War II. So you're not going to be taking skiffle, which is from ska, which is black music, and beat music was black music. And so that's what the Beatles name is riffing on.
But I mean, you're still taking, because rock started via black musicians.
Oh yeah, there's no world where there's rock and roll if the Nazis won.
There is. And this goes into something that I had a problem with, but then I did a little research. Because later on they mentioned that Spider-Man, the concept, like Spider-Man comics exist in this world. And I was like, there's no way the Nazis won World War II, and then we're like, Stan Lee, go make comics. Like, that's just not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The way it can work is as it worked in the comics with Earth X, World War II stretched out to the late 60s, early 70s before America fell.
Okay.
Yeah. So it could work out.
Although Gunn has used Earth X as a term, and then he's also said that it's not Earth X.
Yes. Yeah. It's Earth X.
It's Earth X. Yeah. I mean, like, why not? Like, I don't understand what would be the defining line that would. I mean, maybe the argument is that maybe if the Freedom Fighters don't exist, then he doesn't want to call it Earth X in case they want to use that. But that feels like a stretch, like that somebody's going to have to put Uncle Sam in a movie. It just feels like a real fucking stretch. You know what I mean? And you could still figure out a way to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So back at the other with Chris and the other Harcourt, she's taking a shower after sex. He's shaving. He is going to go down to Argus. He got to fill out some paperwork on the kaiju fight, and he's like, "You want to meet me there?" And she's like, "No, I got stuff to do." You want to come with me? He's like, "No, I'll meet you there. I got stuff to do." And we see that Chris is already thinking like, "This is fucked up." Maybe like he's looking at himself in the mirror and he's like, "This is maybe fucked up."
Well, he's like, "Did I just kind of pull a Wonder Woman 1984?" That's what he's thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has that vibe. Although he's driving around on his bike and he's kind of enjoying it. It doesn't have the same exact thrill that he had. And then we get Ken.
We should have said when our Harcourt and Keith were driving around, Harcourt's looking at everything real weird. She's like, something's off. She catches it right away.
So it was Keith, not Ken. We can call him Ken. His name is Keith. Yeah. They come to Argus and they have to go in the front, and it turns out that there's a drug sniffing dog that immediately loses his shit at Harcourt. So she gets arrested, and everybody is like very apologetic, and they're really shocked when she's like, "Fuck you," because that is not how this Harcourt remotely rolls.
Yeah. Which also Keith was shocked that she was wearing all black and pants.
Black and pants. Yeah. She said, "What am I wearing my fucking underwear all the time out here?" We come to Vigilante going to his house. There's a really great bit where he's walking to his house and a car comes down the road and he jumps into a bush and destroys the bush.
Yes.
Really fucking great.
Made me laugh so hard.
He goes to his house. It's the same house, but some of the lawn decorations are different, and he finds this to be the funniest shit that he's ever seen in his whole life. He cannot stop. There's a squirrel on the front lawn that was a chipmunk in his reality, and he's fucking tickled by it. He just walks in the door and walks past his parents sitting on the couch. His dad is there. And he has one of my favorite bits here where he looks at all these like knickknacks that are around. I wonder if I made this. And there's one that's a bunch of cats. And he goes, 9 cats. What do cats have to talk about?
It's in my world, it's 3 cats. What could 6 cats have to talk about? Which is so good. So good.
And as he walks past, he's his dad on the couch, and he goes, "Oh, Dad's not gay in this reality," which is very fucking. And he's like, doesn't care. Like he's just totally unfazed.
Here's the question: is his dad gay in this reality? But because of the Nazis, he can't come out of the closet.
Oh, do you think his dad is gay in our reality?
Yes. He talks about it in season 1.
Oh, does he? Okay. He finds that all his keys work on the secret room, and he goes in and he finds himself sitting there working on a bomb. By the way, the fact that Adrian is the bomb maker for the Sons of Liberty really makes that episode where Peacemaker could defuse the bomb by just pulling the things out make a tremendous more sense. Like, oh, okay, this guy's an idiot. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Because at the time we're like, that's a pretty lame bomb. Like, frankly, and then you're like, oh no, Adrian made it. Like, oh yes, that's 100% an Adrian bomb. Yeah. And so our vigilante's like, hey, I'm actually you from an alternate universe. And this is also another great bit in the episode, is that then the other vigilante is like, are you shitting me? And he is fucking so excited. They are so excited. There's a moment where you think like, oh, this is going to be like a serious Adrian. This is going to be like this is the opposite of our Adrian. But no, they are the exact same doofus. Yeah. And it is honestly delightful. I've complained about the lack of Adrian this season, and we get a lot of him this episode, and it feels good and it feels right. It feels like a fundamental piece of what this show should be.
I agree. And I am hoping. I know that Gunn says there's probably not going to be a 3rd season, but there's a part of me that hopes that at the end of this season, the Adrian from this Earth comes back with them, and now there's just 2 Adrians, and they get like an apartment together, and they're roommates. Yeah. And you could just do a show about that. It could be like Perfect Strangers with 2 Adrians. I would watch every episode.
They do the Spider-Man pointing meme.
Yes.
To each other. Back at Peacemaker's house, Adebayo and Economos are hanging out. They don't know what to do. And Eagly makes a bunch of noise, and it turns out he's tearing everything up out of the fridge. And then they have to clean it up. I kind of actually have to agree with Economos. Why do they have to clean it up?
Yes. Yeah. It doesn't.
I guess Eagly lives there. If somebody comes home and sees the mess, clearly Eagly did it. Like, I don't leave him eating the meat. Like, just let him.
It would have been fine. Yeah.
And because I kind of also would be super fucking annoyed by that too, honestly. Like, I was like, often I think Economos like fucking buck up, dude. But this guy, I'm like, I didn't come to a different dimension to clean up this mess. Like, what are you kidding me? Yeah, that's crazy. Although I do like when he says it's clean. Eagly's bullshit, and Eagly fucking yells at him, which has much more meaning now that we know he's the Prime Eagle. Like, there's a lot more meaning here. Like, that's dangerous. Don't fuck with the Prime Eagle, man. No. So eventually we then cut to Belle Reeve, and we see who Rick Flag Sr. has gone to talk to. And surprising nobody, to the point where I'm not 100% sure why we had to hold this back from critics, it's Lex Luthor. I honestly don't know why.
I think the holdback is more the Nazi stuff at the end. I think that's why he held it back.
You can tell the critics don't talk about the Nazi stuff at the end.
Yeah, but that never works out. Because critics like to think that they're really smart, and they're like, oh, non-spoiler review thing, and it's like 4 pictures, and one of them will be Donald Duck in a Nazi uniform, and you're like,
yeah, and that would give it away. Although the Nazi stuff, everybody was guessing it.
Everybody
3.5 weeks ago. Like,
everyone figured it out. Like in the first episode.
Yeah, because the thing is, like that, the fact that everybody's white, it really stands out. Like, it's kind of crazy how much it does visually stand out when you're watching the show, because we're just so used to living in an era where there's much more diversity, especially with background stuff. It's just it costs nothing to make a diverse background, and so when that happens, like, it's kind of. But Lex Luthor is who Flag is there to see. He's got a cane now, His next
'Cause he
door.
broke his arm, so now he needs a cane.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I was really wondering what that's about. His next door cell neighbor is Killer Croc, who is, I guess, butt fucking Doc Phosphorus.
No,
No,
no.
Who's he butt fucking? Mr. Bones?
I don't know, but James Gunn said it's clearly not Dr. Phosphorus, and it didn't make any sense when people thought it was Dr. Phosphorus to me, because he says a bear-sized man with dragon skin. Yeah, okay, Killer Croc. But fucking a twink with cartoon eyes. I don't think you'd look at Dr. Phosphorus and be like, that's a twink with cartoon eyes. You'd be like, that's a glowing skeleton man.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
It's kind of exciting to hear Lex Luthor say butt fucking.
Yes.
This is, by the way, I hate fans a little bit. I love fans. I hate fans a little bit, because when Man of Tomorrow comes out and Lex Luthor doesn't say butt fucking or motherfucker or something, the fans are going to go, wait, why can't he curse anymore? And it's because it's a fucking PG-13 movie.
Because it's a movie that's going to make $700 million.
Yeah, that's why. Like, this is the deal. Like, I fucking roll with it, bro. Like, just totally roll with it. Flag comes. He's like, I can get you to a prison with no metahumans. Luthor's thing is like, I told you the metahumans were fucking going to run the world, and look what's happening. And now I'm trapped in a prison full of metahumans. And Flag's like, I can get you to a prison that doesn't have metahumans, but you got to help me out. And basically, it tells him that there's another dimensional portal, and he doesn't want the other rift to happen again. Luthor's like, what am I going to get out of this? Like, it's not that much. And then Flag sells him by saying redemption.
Well, he sells him by being, I'll send you to a prison where there's no metahumans.
I mean, the thing is that Lex argues with him after he says that.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Lex is like, you're starting there? Like, I know there's not that much you can do for me. So if you're starting there, then I know whatever. And then that's the final thing, is that he says, what is it that you're going to offer me? He says redemption. And so I'm kind of curious what that means to Lex.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what is the idea here? Like, what is Lex supposed to want redemption for?
For destroying Metropolis and being locked up for 260 years?
I mean, I think he doesn't care, though. Like,
I think he wouldn't. He'd rather not be in prison.
Yeah, but the thing is that he's not. He gets 265 years in prison, and but I don't think that he's not going to get out of prison. He seems to know that when he's talking to Flag.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
So I'm kind of curious, because obviously, because he says, I know that you can do more. Why don't you start with your final offer? That's what he says to Flag. Like, I negotiate better than you. Like, there's really no point.
It's not going to work out.
And so he tells him that he needs to figure out how to find this dimensional portal.
Which is very confusing to me.
Why?
Because they have a satellite that can find it as long as it's on, right?
Yeah.
It's currently on in Vigilante's home.
So here's the thing. This was a big discussion in our Discord, and I think the satellite was tasked over Peacemaker's house when Flag took over, and that it happened to pick up the door opening. I don't think that the satellite was tasked. But
the satellite's purpose is to find these signals.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what he says.
That's what he says, but we know that as soon as he became the head of Argus, he immediately put all resources on Peacemaker.
Yeah.
So do you say this is a satellite we're using for this, or that he's going to retask it over Peacemaker's house because it's one of the more high-tech satellites that has more options available to him? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not 100%. That's headcanon, obviously. But, like, I'm not convinced that that they knew he had the door until...
Because they found out he had the door when he opened it to go the first time in the first episode when he goes
but
there.
They were already watching him.
No, they weren't watching him yet. No. The first time when he goes and he walks in and he sees his dad and he runs back out in the opening sequence. And then at the end, then we see Economos is watching him and they're like, you gotta let us know if he opens the door again. And, I got the sense that it was after that happened, they set Economos up to watch him.
It's interesting. I don't know. I'm kind of curious if this becomes clearer. At some point, Flag's going to have to explain what's going on.
Yes.
Because clearly Rick Flag is not going to be the bad guy.
No.
He's the antagonist, not the bad guy. He's going to have a rationale and a reason that we're all going to be able to understand.
Yeah, and he keeps saying that this is for the world. We have to do this for the world. So
right, and the way that it's playing is that we in the audience and the other characters around him are supposed to go, "Oh my God, he's saying it's for the world. It's because of his son." But it's going to actually be for the world, and so we're going to find out what that is. So I'm just kind of curious. Hope that they sort of explain a little bit more. That makes more sense, you know. So that's the things like. He says. By the way, also they have Lex's portal guy.
Yes, they have Sidney Happerstein,
who we know is going to be in the show because
he's in the trailer, but they try and hide who he is. I'm like, nobody's going to be fucking excited that Sidney Happerstein shows up, guys. It's okay.
I mean, they made the trailer after the show was finished, so when they made the show, they were trying to make it like a thing. It's actually good that he's in the trailer because when it's not some like cool super character and it's just the fucking guy with the glasses and mustache from Superman, people would be upset. They're going to be upset anyway. Oh, yeah.
I mean, people are expecting Overman to show up in this, and
that's not going to happen. No, you're not going to have fucking Ultraman in the movie and then go right to fucking Overman. Yeah. That makes no sense at all. There's just no version. Because that's the thing. Lex is like, you're not going to give me my freedom, and Flag says, that's never going to happen. He goes, what can you give me? This is an opportunity for redemption, and that's when Lex goes, okay. I like also that. He's like, Peacemaker, and Lex is like, is he a meta? And he's like, no, costume vigilante. And he goes, who the fuck cares?
he's like, who the fuck cares about a goofball?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's so good.
It's really, really good. So Harcourt is in a little room, an interrogation room, and our Harcourt. And our Chris comes in and he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, why are you here? This is crazy. And we have a sequence that's a very good sequence, and it's a lengthy sequence where they have a big argument. And basically he is like, you betrayed me. And she's like, I would never betray you. And he's like, you hurt my feelings, like when you accused me of that. And my favorite part is she's like, you hurt my feelings, something we need to talk about. And he's like, I said I'm sorry, how many times do you want me to say it? And she's like, I don't know, twice. Yeah. Which I really like, because people, I've said that, how many times do you want me to say it? And you're like, maybe I haven't said it enough. It's very possible that I need to say it a couple of more times. And so they're hashing it out, and she tells him that everybody came to get him. And
you can see in his face at that moment, he's like,
yeah. And so
I should be the other world.
Yeah. And so there's a point where he's like, why are we covered in cocaine? And she's like, well, because fucking Adrian. He's like, oh, yeah. the Beanie Baby room? Yeah.
He's like, I've never been there, but I heard about it.
Yeah. So, and this is when Peacemaker tells her that he's in love with her. And she says, yeah, I know. And he says, yeah I figured. And it's, it's a little crushing. But she's in love with him, though. That's the thing. She just doesn't want to.
She doesn't want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's like, and that's obviously where the season's going to end. Is her? It'll be kind of amazing if Gunn kills his wife.
That would be wild.
That would be like amazing. There's no way he's killing Peacemaker at the end of this. There's no.
No, he's already said that Peacemaker and Vigilante are going to be in other stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Then, but his argument to her about like going home is he's like, I can't leave these people. They're good people. And she's like, wait, are you kidding me? And so they leave the room. Then we cut to.
I really like the bit when they're arguing and he's trying to get her to admit that she loves him, or just say how she feels about him in either way. And she keeps dodging it. And she says, she breaks down. She's like, I'm a nightmare. And he goes, and I love you anyway.
Well, he says, I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah. And I think that's a great moment. And I think she's really good in this thing. Jennifer Holland does a really great job. Like, leading up to this episode, Gunn was constantly like, oh, Cena, the best acting he's ever done is in this episode. And I'm watching, I'm like, he's getting schooled by her. I think, like, he's good in it, but she is really, like, tough scene for her to pull.
Yeah, she's really good. Well. Flag comes out of the interrogation room, and he tells Sasha Bordeaux that they're going to move Luthor to this other prison, and she's like, well, what else should I know? And he goes, other than the fact that we're now partners with Lex Luthor. And then we cut back to Vigilantes, and they're having they like all the same stuff. It's all exactly the same.
They have the same favorite Pokemon.
What's the worst thing to touch you, to softly touch you? And goes, human skin.
It's so good. I like when he says, can you pee with cloth on your butt? And he goes, no. And I look down at people that can. It's so good.
Yes. And then it gets crazier and crazier. Like, there's a cloud man looking at me. Do you ever realize there really is a cloud man looking at you? And then eventually our vigilante's like, and then are you best friends with Peacemaker? And their vigilante is like, what the fuck? Like, he's my arch nemesis. Like, I hate that guy.
Until that moment, you don't know which is which.
Right.
Like, which Adrian is which. Because they have the same costume, they have the same hair, they have the same glasses, they both like the same things.
Yeah.
And so you watching that scene, you're not sure which one is, quote unquote, our Adrian.
Right.
Until that moment. That's really cool.
No, I think that's very cool. I think you're totally right. I think that really is very cool, and I like it quite a bit. Back at now he's like, that guy's why I joined the Sons of Liberty. Like, that he's such a piece of shit. Back at the house, Adebayo's like kind of bored, and she wants to go take a walk, and he won't go with her, and she's like, fine, I'm gonna do it by myself. And this is the moment where, in case you were wondering, like, is this really going to be Earth X? The minute that she's like, I'm going to go for a walk by myself, you're like, oh yeah, this is a Nazi planet. Yeah. There's no way that we're doing this otherwise.
Yeah. This is also something I think would have worked better if they were all coked up. Because it's weird. Like, they're in a strange world. The idea of, like, I'm just going to go for a walk around the block in this strange world. Who knows who I'm going to run into and, like, what is happening. Adebayo, I think, is smarter than that. So it seemed weird to me for her to just be like, I'm just going to go for a walk.
I will say, I feel like I could see Adebayo not having good understanding of, like, how you should operate in an alternate reality. Like, I see she's never given much thought to this concept before. I feel like Economos might be the kind of guy who has given it a little bit of thought. And I think Vigilante definitely is the kind of guy who has given it a little bit of thought.
Oh, no, Vigilante I don't think thinks about it at all. You know, like I don't think he questions the idea of, like, multiple realities, but I think it's more of a thing of Vigilante doesn't seem like a guy who thinks.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I think Economos might have thought about it and I think Economos is the character who can say to her, hey, I don't know if you should go wander around. We don't know what's up here. Like, we don't know what's the deal with this universe. You know, we don't know if you're in this universe, you're going to meet yourself. It's going to be weird. Like, what's going to happen?
Why don't we turn on the TV for a minute and at least maybe we can see on the news what this world is like? Who knows? Get a feel for things.
I guess on some level they assume that because if Chris wants to live there, it can't be that bad.
Sure.
So she goes out for the walk and leaves Economos behind. Also, that's the other part. I guess they assume, the part maybe I don't get also about this is that I guess they assume that Chris lives there by himself.
I'm trying to remember when they walked in, do they say...
They said this Chris is really doing well for himself.
Okay, because I can remember they say that or Augie.
No, they said Chris. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, all they had to do was look in another room to see that some other people live there.
Well, Keith came in and was like, what are you doing here without Chris? Like,
yeah. Like,
would that be a clue?
It does feel like you don't stand in front of the window looking out the window to see what's happening if you don't know who's going to walk in that door next. It does feel like they're not really doing a good job of being alternate dimension travelers. So Leota's walking down the street and she sees a car and the car slows down and she waves and the woman in the car is like terrified. And the woman pulls over and we see her get out of the car and start, like, pointing at Leota to some other guy. Back at the house, Economos is eating an apple, and that's when Augie comes home. And he goes to hide behind the kitchen island. I like this bit a lot because I'm like, how does Augie not know? This is crazy. Economos is so big. And then Augie does know. Augie is 100% aware that Economos is there. And when Economos tries to sneak away, attacks him.
Beans him with a soda. Yeah.
Beans him with a soda right in the head. Back at Argus... that universe's Amelia comes in, and everybody at the front desk is like, wait, what the fuck? You're here already. Like, this doesn't make any sense. So now they're wondering what the fuck is going on. And so that's already now very, very confusing. And then we basically cut between the different characters coming to understand what's going on. And we have Peacemaker and our Harcourt walking down this hallway in the Argus offices, and she's like, haven't you noticed that like there's not a single person of color around here? And he's like, I don't know, I didn't pay attention to that. And that's when Keith is driving down the road and he sees Leota, and he stops and he jumps out of his car and he goes, a black, one got out.
One got out, a black. He's honking his horn.
Yeah, honking his horn. People start pouring out of their houses, and they're like, there she is. And they, inside the Argus, we see that Chris looks at a American flag, which there's one on every single desk, and instead of the stars, there's a swastika. Yes. And so now we realize exactly what's going on, as if we didn't already.
And at the same time, Economos gets his hand stabbed through.
Yeah, I love this that Augie jumps on him and takes him down, and Economos just babbles everything to him, and he goes, I'm saying too much. Like, I really do like that, but he does get fucking stabbed in the hand, which is pretty intense. He gets nailed to the floor. Yeah. Then the other Harcourt pops into the office and is like, that's not me. And then we see Leota running down the street being chased by 40 white people who are very, very upset, and that's the end of the episode. What'd you think of this one?
It was great. It's a great episode. You know, the Spider-Man thing at first bugged me, and then I read up on how it works in the comics. So
we'll see if that's how Earth X works. I mean, we'll see if that's the deal. I mean, it kind of makes sense that it would. Yeah. But although I feel like I would want to ask somebody to go through this and see if there's any Japanese cars.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because technically, I know that the plan for the Axis was to split the world, but I know that I'm sure Hitler, were he triumphant, would have no interest in doing that.
In the history of Earth X in the comics, Hitler turns on the Japanese and basically wipes them out. And the war ends when Hitler finds a way, or German scientists, I guess, the big turning point is FDR dies earlier. The Nazis get nuclear bombs before anyone else, and then they find a way to mind control the whole world. Uh-huh. And they do that, and almost everyone's affected, but not everybody. That's how you have the freedom fighters still out there. The war continues into the late 60s, early 70s, and that's when the Justice League and Justice Society show up in that world,
right?
For the fun crossover. And they come to find out that, prepare for our own future, the Nazis had created an AI that would control everyone with the mind control. The AI ended up killing the Nazis and creating robots of them to just run everything. Wow. And yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go.
Yeah, this is a really good episode. A lot of people have been saying how does Chris not notice? How does Chris not notice? I mean, part of it is he's dumb. But I think that there's something James Gunn said about next episode, which is, it's not going to be so simple that everybody on this earth is a Nazi or so bad. Yeah. And people are like, oh, I hope he's not going to do a good Nazi story. No. I think there was a HBO show that never happened that the guys that created Game of Thrones was going to do. And it was a show set in an alternate current day where the South had won the Civil War. Yeah. And one of the main premises that the show was going to explore was that the world is almost exactly the same. And so the concept here is that we are living in the world that the Confederates mostly would have made. We're not that far off from what they would have done. Yeah. And not in a positive way, saying how much racism is so fundamental to this country. Yeah. And so we also live in a country that's founded on a genocide, right? And we all just sort of go along with it. We don't sit around and when people do start getting really upset about that, we kind of go, oh my God, get over it. And so, on some level, if there are people on Earth X here who are not diehard Nazis, but are just living in the world that the Nazis created, it's not that different from a lot of people here, where they're not really thinking about it. You know what I mean? I think it's I don't know how much he's going to actually go there. Yeah. But there's an interesting thing to talk about, which is that we live in a country that is actually built on a lot of different evils. Sure. And we just kind of go with it. You know what I mean? Why would it be so different if the Nazis were in charge? Why would we not also be just kind of going with it? And that's a way of looking at the world that we're in now. as opposed to just doing like isn't it crazy that the Nazis won? But it becomes like how different is our world from one where the Nazis won? It isn't that different. And then what does that mean about us and about the world that we live in?
There's also a thing of like, depending on when in this world the Nazis won, how just this is the way the world is for people. Like, you know, if Keith and Peacemaker and Harcourt are, you know, in their late 30s, early 40s, wherever they might be, they've never known a world.
This is the world. Yeah. This is just the world. You know? Yeah. And I think that's interesting. And I think, again, if you can use that as a way to talk about the modern world, like we live in a world that's built on atrocities and we don't really deal with it. We don't really think about it. It just is what it is, right?
Yeah.
There's like a really good joke about this in One Battle After Another, movie I can't stop talking about. But when Bob is demanding the guy on the phone to know where he is, and the guy is, I'm somewhere between the stolen lands of this tribe and the stolen lands of this tribe, and Bob's like, you're insufferable. Yeah. And like the guy's not wrong, right? But also it's like we have to live in this world, and so like how do we navigate that? There's something you could do here with that. That's like interesting to me. Again, I wish that Confederacy show had been able to get made. It didn't get made because people got really upset about it. Yeah. But I think the central conceit that the world is actually not that different is like kind of like really damning. It's not racist. It's the opposite. It's like it's really calling out the modern world in a very significant way. Yeah. So this is a good episode. This is the best episode of the season. And not just because it has the big twist or whatever, but because I think every character gets something. Sure. And that's, like I said earlier, what I've been missing. I just want these characters to have stuff to do because I like these characters a lot. Yeah. And when they're just sitting on the porch waiting for Chris to show up, doing a little bit of banter, that isn't quite the same thing as having something to do. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes.
Plus, you get double the vigilante in this episode.
Twice the vigilante. We've been missing out on vigilante. They're really making up for it this episode. I thought the Luthor cameo was like, eh.
It was okay. My biggest problem with the Luthor cameo is the second you see somebody walking in with a cane, I was like, it's obviously Luthor. And now we have to wait 10 seconds for the reveal. Like,
I had the same feeling. Yeah, it's going to be
like just no cut to him sitting down and there's his face, right? Yeah. Like, don't make a big thing out of it because it's not going to be shocking. Like we figured this out.
Yeah, I thought that didn't really. It was just it just was like, okay, I get it. I'm fully aware who this is.
It would have been funny if you do that, and then when the person sits down, it's Sidney Snapperstein instead, because you're going to be like, oh, it's obviously Luthor, and then you have it be him, and be like, oh, that's funny. You're like, okay.
I actually feel, and I'm going to betray my own people here. I feel like it's a little gratuitous, the Luthor thing.
Yeah,
because I do feel like they go to Sidney Snapperstein first. Like I honestly do. I honestly think that's who they go to first. Like I don't think that they go right to Luthor. I think they go to his head scientist guys. Yeah. Because that's a different deal. Like you can make a deal with Sidney Snapperstein. You can't really make a great deal with Lex Luthor because he's the guy behind it, right? So like Snapperstein obviously is like in a lot of trouble and maybe never get out of prison, but you can negotiate more with that guy. And that's where they're going to end up anyway. And so I feel like they made the Luthor thing there just so that Flag could say, we are now partners with Lex Luthor. So that in Man of Tomorrow. But the thing is, like in Man of Tomorrow, all you have to say is, well, while he was locked up, Luthor was very helpful. You have a scientific genius like that. He did a lot of things for us. You know what I mean? Like
the government's going to use him. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't have to actually set it up. So that's it's fine. I like the scene.
It could be setting up. One of my theories is because we know they're doing a Creature Commando season 2. Mm-hmm. And one of my theory on that is season 2 of Creature Commandos is going to pick up on the Earth X stuff, because I don't see this ending with them being like, we fixed Earth X. It's no longer run by Nazis. I don't think that's going to happen. No. And I can see Creature Commando Season 2 being Luthor and G.I. Robot and like a couple of different creatures.
He's dead, though. Isn't he dead?
No, G.I. Robot, they rebuilt him at the end of
they did? Okay, that's right.
Season 1. Yeah. Being sent into that world. Because my theory is the U.S. government knows about the multiverse. They know that there are all these different worlds. And what they're looking to do is essentially just corporate greed. Like, hey, if we take these over, we can make more money. We can, have more resources. So let's go do that. And that's my theory what's going to happen.
So I would say that it's not quite going to be that. My guess is that they do leave Earth X as is. You can't win the battle. I think that this show ends with the Sons of Liberty having a small triumph of some kind that feels good, and that indicates that they're going to keep going on. Because the thing is, when the Justice League went, they didn't end Earth X, right?
Yes, they did.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
They destroy the AI and they free the people from mind control. Yeah.
So I mean, maybe.
But with that, you can't have a story where Superman goes to a Nazi planet and does not save the Nazi planet, right?
Well, he's not going to show up. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's not going to show up in this, so you're fine. That's totally fine. If no one expects Peacemaker to end the Nazi regime on a planet.
I think the thing is that, like, Rick Flag's angle here might be twofold. One is recognizing that there are really dangerous dimensions.
Yes.
And two, not necessarily taking over other planets, but just resources. You know what I mean? Like, there must be somewhere in the dimensions an Earth that's just made out of gold.
Sure.
Like, if it's an infinite multiverse, then that's going to be someplace. That's one of the things in, everything everywhere all at once.
And as we see as well, it doesn't just open up to Earth, right?
Right. It opens up. Well, that might be just Earth with a different evolution.
I guess that's possible, yeah.
So we don't even know what that guy's deal is. So, like, within that context, but I think that the thing is he wants to protect us from the threats that are out there. So I could see the season ending with the idea that that this is what is going to be set up. That there's going to be I guess it could be creature commandos that's like set up as like the people that guard from the multiverse or whatever. That would like make some sense to me. But I do think that, I mean, maybe this is too Marvel-pilled, but I also can imagine an ending to this season where the Sons of Liberty have a success, like Rick Flag promises to like bring them weapons, like to arm them like the Afghanis when Russia was occupying, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But that we see that somewhere higher up in the Nazi world, somebody learns that there is another Earth, and that it ends with them being like, well, this is our next. We've conquered this whole world. This is our next frontier.
To this one. Which I also could see happening, and I could see that being the story for Man of Tomorrow. But I don't want that, because that would be, at that point, it's like, well, now we're going to bring an Overman, and it's like we just saw Superman fight Superman.
No, Man of Tomorrow has got to be Brainiac with that script page that Gunn showed.
Gunn claims that that's not what's happening. So, He said a lot of people think that means Brainiac. That's not what that means. And we're not going to reveal what it means right now.
I got to say that we had a lot of concerns about Superman, like in terms of what he was doing. I think everything he did was really great. Like I think that on the whole, stuff we were concerned about. So I'm not like stuff we were concerned about, like too many heroes, too much stuff going on. I think it all really worked.
No, I agree.
And so I'm going to not, if he's going to do the Nazis and Overman, I'm going to say, I'm going to watch the movie. Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to watch the movie, don't get me wrong, but,
I'm saying I'm not going to make any judgment at all. I'm not even going to say I hope it isn't. I'm going to say I hope that whatever James Gunn makes is exactly what he wants to make, and that it's going to be great.
Sure. But I'm just, this will be the third Superman movie in a row where Superman fights evil Superman. And it's like, we can do something different now. We can try something new. Give it a go.
Why wouldn't it be Brainiac? Brainiac is just a great choice.
Yes. He doesn't directly say it's not Brainiac. He just says that image is not Brainiac, is not connected to Brainiac.
It's just such a great choice. Because Brainiac is probably the most famous Superman villain that has.
I mean, the other option here, if it is going to be Earth 2 or Earth X invading Earth Prime, is Ultra Humanite, which would fit the brain thing too, because Ultra Humanite's whole thing is he keeps putting his own brain into other people so that he can keep living, including a giant ape, which we know James Gunn loves big apes.
I'd be okay with that.
And Ultra Humanite was a Nazi. So. And I believe he was a Superman villain to begin with, and then he became a JSA villain.
I would be okay with that. I would be okay with Ultra Humanite in an ape at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like he'd be a person at the beginning and then be an ape at the end.
Unless at the end of episode 8 of Peacemaker, we see Ultra Humanite. He's a big ape wearing suspenders like he does in the comics. And he's like, I'm Ultra Humanite. I'm awesome.
I would love that. Great. That would be really, really great. But I suspect we're not going to get that. I'm very curious where this is going to go we got 2 more episodes, so we don't have that much longer to wait.
No.
We shall return next week with the penultimate episode of Peacemaker Season 2, and it sounds like the penultimate episode of Peacemaker ever.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Although I don't know why you would say that.
I mean, again, what he said...
If you're not killing the character...
Is that they're going to continue, but there probably won't be a Season 3, is what he said.
The thing is, if you're not killing the character, you can just always do a Peacemaker thing. Like,
where he said, it's not exactly Peacemaker Season 3, which also he said, Man of Tomorrow is not exactly a Superman sequel. So who knows?
Well, I will say this. I think that maybe...
Because maybe Peacemaker forms the Freedom Fighters, and that's what the next season is called. It's Freedom Fighters.
I mean, I will say that what I think is very likely to happen is that many of these characters come back together to work for Argus.
Yeah.
And that's what the next show is. Whether it be they work for Checkmate or Argus or whatever, that feels reasonable to me. That feels like a very plausible thing, and that would be technically not Peacemaker Season 3, but like with most, if not all of these characters working as a team for that organization.
Yeah. The other possibility is, he said this in an interview this past week, post the episode coming out. So it was a fresh interview. Maybe the ratings aren't that good, and they're like, we're not going to do a third Peacemaker because nobody's watching this one.
Yeah,
Who knows? Who knows?
All right, well, we'll be back with that episode next week. Until then, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Until next time, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be well, but most of all, may you remain a true believer.